Alright guys, so we're starting Unit 6, which is our probability unit. And today we're going to look at sample spaces. Really easy lesson today. So we're going to do some definitions to start with. Okay, so our first definition is, give me one second. Pens are starting to run out of ink, so I want to get a new one. So an outcome. An outcome is a possible result of a chance process. Okay? Now, like an outcome, if I flip a coin, I have heads or I have tails. Those are possible results. Sample space is the set of all possible outcomes. Okay, so if I roll a die is a singular. You usually have a pair of dice, but a 1 is a die. So if I roll a die, I could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's my sample space. So this is the list of possible outcomes, not the number of outcomes. Okay? An event is simply a subset of the sample space. So if I'm rolling a die, the event would be probability I roll a 1. Okay, that would be an event. That's a subset of the sample space. Okay, so we're going to identify our possible outcomes. So if my possible outcomes would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if I want them written as a sample space, it's like a little more formal. So you put an S and then you put them inside of the braces here. And that tells you this is my sample space. And the event, an event could be rolling an even number. Okay? And that would be 2, 4, or 6. Okay? Now, alright, so let's say I have 3 red marbles and 3 blue marbles in a bag, and I want to draw 2. What would be my sample space? So here, my sample space would be, what are all the possible outcomes? Well, they could both be red. They could both be blue. The first one could be red. The second one could be blue. The first one could be blue. And the second one could be red. Now, I know you think that these are the same thing, but both matter. Okay, next, toss a coin 4 times and count the number of heads. Okay, so if I toss it 4 times and I count the number of heads, I should say S equals, sorry about that, I could have 4 There's a chance that all 4 of them could be heads, or I could have 3 of them be heads, 2 of them be heads, 1 of them, or none of them. Those are all my possible outcomes there. All right. And then it says choose a letter from the word mathematics that doesn't repeat. And I can't repeat, excuse me. So there's an M, there's an A, there's a T, there's an H, there's an E. I can't use M because I've already used it. I've used A already, I've used T already. And then I have A, C, S. Okay, those are all the possible letters that I could pull from the word mathematics if I don't repeat. All right, now we're going to try counting the total number of outcomes. And I'm sorry, I have all these little symbols out here. Let's try making them go away. All right, so try to list the possible outcomes of rolling 2 dice and report the total number. So we could sit there and we could write them all out. Okay, so I could have a 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 4, a 1 and a 5, a 1 and a 6. Then I could have 2 and a 1, 2 and a 2, 2 and a 3, 2 and a 4, 2 and a 5, 2 and a 6. Then I could have 3 and a 1, and you see how that works. There's total 36 total possible. I don't want to have to sit and count these all the time. Okay, so there's a method that so you don't have to list them all. You go, how many possible outcomes do you have for the first? You have 6. Of the second, you have 6. 6 times 6, 36. Okay. Now, count the possible outcomes of rolling 3 dice. So I have 3 dice. There's 6 possible outcomes for the first, 6 possible outcomes for the second, 6 possible outcomes for the third. So there's 216 possible ways. And you can put here die 1, die 2, die 3. Now, count the possible outcomes of flipping a coin. This one's going to be flip coin. How many outcomes can you have from flipping a coin? Heads or tails? All right, so that's 2. Then you roll a die. So you have 6 possible outcomes. So 2 times 6 is 12. Now, how many 3 digits can you make drawing digits 0 from 9? And 0 can be a digit. Okay? So, if you can replace the number each time, so 0 to 9, so 1 to 9 is 9, so adding the 0 in makes 10. So there's 10 numbers. If I put them back every time, I have 10 numbers in the hat that I'm drawing from. So that gives me 1,000. But if I cannot replace, I start with 10, but then I can't replace that one. So now I have 9. And I can't replace that one. So now I have 8. And this is going to give me 720. Okay? So we have that. I want to talk one thing with you really quickly. So you see on here the sheet that we need to do. What problems we need to do. So I want to discuss this table with you. Okay, so if you look here, it says rolling 2 dice. shows the 36 outcomes when we roll a dice. Another way to summarize these results is to make a table. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a table. Okay, and I'm going to make it at the bottom of this sheet. So, we have a chart that says number of ways, the sum, and the outcomes. Okay, so the first sum I can get is 2. And the only way I can get that is a 1 and a 1. A sum of 3, I could get a 1 and a 2, and a 2 and a 1. So here there's only one way, here there's 2. A sum of 4, I could get a 1 and a 3 and a 1, and a 2 and a 2. So that's 3 ways. A 5, I could get a 1 and a 4 and a 1, a 2 and a 3 and a 2. Then 6, I could get 1 and a 5 and a 1, a 2 and a 4 and a 2, and a 3 and a 3. For a 7, I could get a 1 and a 6 and a 1, a 2 and a 5 and a 2, a 3 and a 4 and a 3. Okay, now when we get to 8, we can't do 1 in a number because there's no 7. So we go to 2. So we have 2 and a 6, 6 and a 2, 3 and a 5 and a 3, and a 4 and a 4. To get 9, we do 3 and a 6, 6 and a 3, 4 and a 5 and a 4. So what do you notice? We went up to 6, now we're counting back down. So how many ways do you think this is going to be? 3. We have 4 and a 6, 6 and a 4, 5 and a 5. 2 ways for 11, and there's going to be 1 way for 12. Okay, so for 11, we have 5 and a 6, 6 and a 5. And for 12, we have a 6 and a 6. And if you notice, it makes a triangle. Okay, it works its way up, then works its way back down. All right, so this is the table that goes with 6.35. Okay, I wanted to do that table with you so you would have it for the homework. All right, guys, hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know.